Okay. Says I'm live. Am I really live or am I pretend live? I gotta check it. It's me repeating myself. I do that enough without the help. Hey! So let's try this again without the broken things. I will do my best not to hit the button that I hit that ruined everything. So we're talking about ToneX today, specifically the ToneX 1, and I made the mistake of jumping into ToneNET just one time and just sort of exploring a little bit. Some things were pretty scary. Some things were awesome. Yeah, back to the regularly scheduled program. That's correct. So there are some sounds that are really awesome and some sounds that are not. Or at least without some major tweaking didn't seem awesome. And I watched a great video from the Tone Shepherd. If you're not following him, follow him on Instagram and go over to his YouTube channel because he's got some great stuff on the topic. He has his own captures. I've not messed with any of those yet. Just got the pedal, so we'll see. That'll be down the road. But he suggested that you should treat any of these amp modelers, treat them like an amp. And whereas we have with ToneNET, which let me go ahead and open it. With ToneNET, we have thousands, like some, 10 or 20,000 different amps as options, which is a lot of options, too many options. And the mistake that we can make is just clicking on one, not doing any sort of adjustment. I'll judge it from the way it just comes in, and not tweaking pedals, tweaking effects to work around and work with that amp sound. I thought that was great advice, because if it were a real amp, you would dial in the amp, do a bunch of work to it, and figure out where the amp sounds best or best to you. And then you would dial in your pedal board to match the amp or to work with the amp. And a lot of times we get that backwards. So great video by, great video by the Tone Shepherd. Again, I'll drop a link after I'm done with this stream. So yeah, if you're watching this, it's probably already in there, down below. Anywho, let's get into some sounds. So this is the first sound that you get, the super reverb, clean-ish sound, and I'm not running any pedals. Pedals I'm running today. Over here I've got a JHS Morning Glory, TC Electronic Flashback V1, the RV6 by Boss, and then the ToneX. And for this stream, I am just running straight out of the ToneX into my computer. So not even using an interface for that side of things. So here's what that sounds like. I could very easily use that sound for a weekend, but let's play with the knobs a little bit. I'll call out what I'm doing since you can't see it. Yeah, so here is, I'm just going to sort of play with the gain first. Pull the volume up to compensate. It's just the reverb. And that's the onboard reverb on the ToneX. Is it all the way up? Yeah, pretty cool. Let's flip back over. Here's me just adjusting bass, treble, middle. Bass. Super fat. Pull it back. Mids. Loads mids. Highs. No surprise there. I'll pull the gain back up a bit. Line down just a touch. Mid's about middle, a little bit above. Yeah. A little more bass. Bridge pickup. Yeah. Again, I could use that. I could use that anytime. I'd be happy to use that. Let's jump over to sorry, just making sure things are working the way they're supposed to work. Yeah. Let's do something high gain. So here's the B sound. Obviously you're getting a lot more noise, so I'm going to adjust the gate. Works okay. At least on this capture. Okay, but with all that gain, let's pull the gate back a touch. Now we're hearing all that noise. Keep it right there for now. What if this very high gain, what if we dial that way back? I mean, that's getting somewhere. Pull back just a touch. Okay, so that will pull the gate back because I feel like it's choking it. So here's the gain almost all the way off. Volume up. Kind of losing a little bit of the 800 character. I could work with that too. Yeah, so again, further proving the point, the stock sound with its settings right out of the gate was maybe not something I would immediately gravitate towards, but with a little bit of tweaking, sounds pretty great. And I think you have to be careful with all this stuff, and I'm a little bit iffy on making extreme changes to any of these, because any change that you do to this isn't exactly the way the amp would sound. For instance, if you do a capture of a low wattage amp cranked all the way up and then pull the gain all the way down, it's probably not going to sound exactly like that same amp pulled down. Does that make sense? If you're digitally making huge adjustments, it's probably not going to be as accurate as far as the heart of the capture, the way that amp, the character of that amp in general. You're going to get further and further because you're modifying a copy of an amp. So yeah, I think the best thing to do is to find something that is close, both tonally, like as far as EQ is concerned, something that's close to what you like, and something that has roughly close to the amount of gain that you would want to normally use. So if you're a high gain user, find a high gain one. If you're a low gain user, find something that is pretty clean, or if you like something in between, find a capture that's already kind of in between, and then adjust to taste. I mean, requests for solos. I won't be doing any solos other than testing these by myself. That's technically a solo, but yeah. Yeah, let's jump into, so here's the pushed 800. A good amount of noise. There's the gate. Let's try it. Whoops. Little delay. course, that gate is now chopping off the delay. So if you're going to run that, it'd probably be better to have the wet effects after. We hear it a lot with the reverb. Yeah, the gate is ruining that reverb. Okay, I'm done with the pushed 800 anyway. Okay, I'm not done. I know, I'm not done. I said I was going to try different gain, so let's try low gain with the pushed 800. Yeah. So again, the thing that is awesome about these type of devices, so, and this will a little bit answer your question, Josh, we're running direct more and more. If you're in a situation where you can't mic an amp, then something like this gives you lots of options, and you can dial things into taste, but you need to have some way of monitoring that well. So either monitor with a good set of headphones, pair of studio monitors, something like that. Plug in, get your sound, and then use that. It's tricky because you don't have the opportunity, and I think this is a little bit what you're alluding to, Josh. You don't as much have the opportunity to guarantee that the way you're hearing it back and making adjustments is the way it will be heard out front, because you might be hearing things a little different with a set of headphones than it's going to be out front and whatnot. So that can be a challenge, but at the same time, some of that is true with a guitar amp anyway. You can make a bunch of adjustments to a guitar amp that's mic'd, and then it still might sound kind of different in the final mix, for better or for worse. Hopefully for better. But that's just a fact of life when it comes to using guitars and not just listening to the sound of the amp. So, yeah. Anyway, hope that answers the question. Let's jump into this one is called Pure. Just toss this up here. I had to check because that's the onboard reverb. Making some EQ adjustments. Sounds pretty nice. All of the reverb. Less reverb. We'll just go all the way dry. Very dry. Split the difference. There's also an onboard compressor. Let's check that out really quick. See what no compression sounds like. And then let's try the extreme. Just all of the compression. Here's all the way up. Ooh. It's too much. What about in the middle? pretty good. Tune again. So the thing that's great is, again, you can make those adjustments, kind of figure out what you like about it and what you don't, and then do something about it. Let's hear this. So this is a very clean capture. Let's hear what it sounds like if I push the gain way up. Probably too much. Pull the volume back a touch. Sorry about that. It's noisy. All kinds of noise. So yeah. As far as extremes are concerned, I don't like the idea of pushing any of these to their extremes. Let's go back to clean. I'm just going to reset it. Will that reset it? Nope. If I go over here and then back to here. That reset it. Oh, but now it's bone dry. Yeah. So that's some of the stock sounds. Here's one that we'll see what I can do with this. And then I'll get into some of the sounds, just specifically on ToneNET. This one's called Mad Fuzz. And it is supposed to sound like a 57 Custom Deluxe. But I guess with a fuzz also, or maybe it's just maxed out gain wise. What does this do if I pull the gain way down? So gain way down, volume going up. Still kind of has that fizzy quick decay thing where it's just falling off. Which I guess would be characteristic of a small tube amp, I guess. It's not bad, though. If we go even cleaner. That's as clean as this one will go and still put out audio. Volume all the way up. Yeah, at that point, Might not be even worth using. This was interesting, though. I'm surprised that I could get a somewhat usable sound out of that. I want to look at something real quick. So, like I said, I'm just now getting into this software and learning it. I also know that I can somewhere. What is this? What does that do? Oh, syncing it. Yeah. So here's a dumble. Oh, here's also a thing. I could be wrong. How to be sure? What if I drag the Mad Fuzz back in? So it remembered my settings, because this does not sound like that off the rip. So it's letting me edit on the pedal, and then it's storing that sound. And then as I've changed settings to here, like this one sounds clean now. Cleanish. If I goose that, obviously made a big change there. And then if I switch to a different amp, like let's go back to this pure, you can hear a different amp. Now back to Dumby here. So it stored the changes that I made to that specific capture, which is very interesting. Yeah. So the one thing I am super lost on right now, full transparency, there is a way to see what you're changing, and it might be because I've been making adjustments on the pedal that I can't see any of those adjustments that you can do inside the software. Yeah. I know you can't do it. So I'm going to, real quick, just because, I'm going to go back to the default library. So we're going to overwrite the pedal. It's going to bring everything back to stock again, because I'm just messing around. I haven't done anything that I had to keep. So then, just so that we can see this Dumby, which was clean, or was dirty the last time we heard it, if I drag that in. It's very clean in comparison to where we had it. And then, along with that, we cleaned this sucker up. It does that now. So, pretty interesting. I think it's time to explore a little bit. So, let's do that. The other thing that's really cool about this, and I'll get into this into another video, but you can use the ToneX 1 and the ToneX for that matter. You can use it as a pedal modeler instead of an amp modeler. So there's a bunch of pedal sounds in here, actually a bunch of them back here, like an OCD, Big Muff. There's a Klon sound, which I'm not set up to demo because need another amp sound, but I definitely want to mess with that, because off the rip, I did not think it sounded good. But maybe with some dialing, maybe. Anywho, let's go through some of these available sounds. And as you can see, how many results do we have? We have 24,259 results. So there's a few options to go through. So try and get to all of them. Just never going to happen. But a couple of handy things, you can look and see what people have liked, what other people have downloaded. I heard there's a way you can go and search by popularity. I don't know how to do that though. Alphabetically, most downloaded. Curious. Wow. You guys seeing this? Look how many downloads that has. 13,000 downloads. The next closest is 7,000. Good golly. That's a lot of people have tried this. And 3,000 people felt the need to give a thumbs up. Speaking of giving a thumbs up, you could do that to this video. Give it a thumbs up. That'd be really nice of you. All right. 13,000 people downloaded it. Let's make it 1301. What's it going to sound like? Is it going to be good? The selected presets on the pedal will override. Do you wish to continue? I do wish to continue. Okay. Jumping around, that's because I'm flicking back and forth between the normal settings and the alt, hitting the alt button. And when you adjust it, it does that because it's getting used to the position of the knob. I mean, it's pretty great sounding, matchless. Going into a real amp, going into a real amp would be, you'd be shaping your sound to sound like an amp and then putting that into an amp. So it would probably sound like a copy of a copy if you're using an amp sound. Sure, if you run your amp, your actual physical guitar amp, really clean, like almost like PA speaker clean, like you're not really getting the character of the amp, run all of the EQ flat, nothing nothing odd going on with that. The more clean and transparent buzzword, the more clean and transparent you could get the amp to sound, then you could add the character that you're trying to get from these different captures. At that point, I feel like there's other gear that I would gravitate towards if I'm going to go down that route. But it's not to say that if there's a particular sound that you're trying to get, you could probably get it with this. But I think the bigger use for the pedal is that it's flexible. So what you could do is have this pedal on your board, have it in a position as far as your signal chain that you could use it as the amp sound for a direct solution. So just put a DI box, plug straight out of the end of it. I would say if you're going to do that, where do you put it? You put it after your overdrives, before any of your wet effects. And then you have to be cool with that being pre-wet effects if you're using it for direct. But in the situation like you're describing, you could still use it as a stomp box modeler and, dial in a rat, a clon, a big muff, whatever. Dial in a pedal sound, still have it on your board, and then run that into your favorite tube amp and gig with that. Yeah, if you've got a deluxe reverb, sure, you could totally run it into that, run run it as a pedal and not think of it as an amp. But if the rare case that you're like, oh man, I can't use my deluxe this week, I've got to go direct, you could also have a sound dialed in, flip to an amp sound, and then you can switch back and forth. So guys, the thing that is wild about this pedal is just the possibilities, right? So it's not enough that it does amps, it also does pedals. It's not enough that it does amps and pedals, it's got built-in compression, it's got built-in reverb, it's got built-in EQ. You could use like 4 of these on your board and have them in different positions for different functionality. Obviously, that's if you're going to go to that extreme, there are other products that might make more sense, at that rate. Just get an HX Stomp or something like that. But it's the options that have me just raving about this thing. For me, I plan on using it as a direct solution. I plan on trying it as a pedal replacer, a distortion box, whatever. But also, I really want to try this thing on bass. So I might do a live stream here before too long and just try out all of the bass sounds that I can find on this thing. So that makes this thing even more powerful. I will at some point buy at least one more of these because it's just so stinking useful. Let's try another amp. Let's try number 2 on the list here because we can. Oh, I forgot. You don't have to actually drag it in to load it. It will demo it. So let's cancel that. If I have it here, then it will let me audition the sound. What I don't know, let me do this real quick. could have swore that you could audition it. What happens if you click play? Downloading a demo. Oh, don't. No, I don't want to hear that. Yeah, not hearing a change. Let's drag it up here. See if I can hear the change. Yeah, overwrite. That's fine. Maybe not big enough change. What if I drag this one in? Yep, that's okay. There's a change. That's pretty nice sounding Plexi. That's the 1987X, which I believe is the same one that Pedal Show has. That's their Plexi, is a 87. You know why I know that? Because that's the year I was born. Hard to forget. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. I like that better than this 800. Yeah. I wouldn't normally gravitate towards that sound, but I could use that sound. Certainly on some recordings. Which, I mean, if we're going to talk about recordings, yeah, there's a spot where you could get a lot of love from this pedal. How you guys doing? You good to go a little longer? Yeah? Let me know. I'm not in a huge rush to end this thing, so yeah. And if there's something else you guys want to see, a particular amp you want me to look for, I'll do it. Let me know. You mentioned a deluxe. You see one in the top? Huh. Here we go. Deluxe reverb. Yes, I would. Chiming. To call this a drive pedal is... It is a drive pedal, but it's also an amp sound, because it doesn't have to be just drive right now. I'm getting almost no drive from this. It's really doing the EQ shaping and like the touch sensitivity that you get from an amp. Do I have... I don't have this. If I flip over here, you can hear... So I'm now in stomp mode. In stomp mode, You can hear me with the pedal on and the pedal off. So that's my dry signal. There's nothing going on. It's running through the pedals. Everything's turned off, and then actually going through the ToneX and then sent to my computer. So that's with nothing on, and then here's the sound of the deluxe. So it's doing a whole bunch of EQ shaping, and I don't know, there's just something. An amp has a sound. Every amp has a sound that direct is just very far from, even though it's still a guitar, even though it's still clean. This is just, to me, way more usable because it feels and plays like an amp, sounds like an amp. Let's see if we can make some adjustments to this, see what we can get out of it. So here's with a little more gain. Pretty much just more volume, man. Sorry, it's probably killing you guys. Volume back. But that's, as far as this captured, that's the gain all the way up, which is interesting. It's not hardly anything to it. Wild. Yeah. All right, now I want to hear, let's hear this AC 30. Which one's been your favorite sound so far? Let me know. So a clean AC30. And a guitar that I cannot keep in tune today. My apologies. So since it's clean, I'm going to use the Morning Glory and then run some of the wet effects into it. See what that sounds like. That's pretty good. Now it says top boost on it. It doesn't have any stomps going into it, according to this. This one's another Tone Junkie. Let's hear. Pull volume back. Gain goes up. See what it does. Volume back up. I think that sounds pretty great. And kick it with, I'm going to pull the drive down on the Morning Glory and just pull the volume up, see what that does. So it's not really overdrive from the Morning Glory, it's just kind of acting as a volume boost. We hit a little too hard. Yeah, I like that AC. That's nice. Let's find something weird. Okay, I haven't done a high gain one for a minute, which is not really my thing, so sorry that the riffs are going to be very, very uncharacteristic of me. Yeah, it would be interesting if... So that's how that's going to be. Pull up the gate. Yeah, gate went up. It would be interesting if there was some sort of an acoustic use for this. I don't think there is, but it'd be cool if there was. That would make it one step even more handy. But the funny thing is, for the reason I have not immediately just gravitated towards the HX Stomp for all that it can do. I like the idea of having a pedal on your board that has a dedicated use, that it does this one thing. And the funny thing with this pedal is I'm like, well, it does this one thing, but it does a bunch of things. It could do one thing or another one thing or yet another one thing on your board. And for whatever reason, I like it in this format, and the HX is just option overload to me. Now, Fran, if you haven't watched my video with Fran, she did an amazing job explaining how she uses it, gets amazing sounds out of it. I know I'm surrounded by HX users. There's a whole bunch of them here at the church. So, like, credit where credit's due. The thing sounds great. You can do a ton with it. But there's something I really like about this, and I like being able to incorporate any other pedal, and it doesn't seem like total overlap to me, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm probably just unreasonably biased because it's also really cost effective, but I don't know. That's just me. Anywho, let's see what this thing sounds like. Man, you have to have that gate cranked with these single coils. Could just get a pretty good effect just adjusting the gate. Let's rock and roll at least. If I were Tom Morello, I could get like a way better rhythmic thing going. Make this sound like a turntable. It's the which solo is it? Is it Bulls on Parade solo? But if you got it off of Temu, let's jump into maybe any other sound. Okay. Before I do that, we've been trying the high gain stuff turned down, so I'll pull the gain way down on this sound before I move on. So here's the gain way down. It's the gain almost off. Pull the volume up a bit. I mean, now it's gainy. But with it almost all the way off on the gain knob, it becomes fairly usable. Here's just a touch up. Yeah. It's a lot of gain. A lot of gain. All right. Let me jump into anything else. Tone King, Neural. Interesting. Oh, I'm just now seeing this. Gosh, guys. Over here's the top 10 most liked. I guess these are, say, weekly charts on it. It's all right here. And then the most downloaded. Oh, snap. Oh, that's just this. Oh, that doesn't say K. So this one, looking over here, I saw the 219 and thought that was 219,000, but it's just 219. I'm okay. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is supposed to be the slow dancing in a burning room sound. Now we have to try it. That Tone King sounded nice, though. I can't play the riff. I don't know it. It's something like that. I mean, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm butchering it. I just lost all kinds of musician points. That's fine. But I mean, for a $179 pedal, trying to sound like a, I mean, $500,000 Dumble. Oh gosh, I'm playing poorly. My bad, guys. What if I put a little reverb? It's a little more my wheelhouse. It is a nice sound. I'll say it's a nice sound. I don't hate that. Okay, let's go back to most liked. The perfect Marshall. What's the perfect Marshall sound like? Not in yet. Here, the perfect Marshall sounds out of tune. Wow. That got noisy fast. Let's see what it sounds like with a in-tune guitar and less noise. They said it was the perfect Marshall. I don't know that. Definitely wouldn't run this guitar into a Marshall with that much gain. That's with the gate on. It's very high gain. Very high gain. Yeah, I don't think I could use that. The 64 Vox, I feel like I've heard good things about this one. If I'm not mistaken. Let's try it. If I boost into it. All right. Yeah. So I think what we've learned, if we've learned anything, is that just going through the top most liked and most download, you'll definitely find something pretty usable. Okay, one last thing. I wanted to demonstrate this a little bit, my first experience with let's go all ToneX, all ToneNET. AC15. What could go wrong? So I don't know if you can see it in the shot. Let me switch this over real quick. Sorry. Keep switching it back and forth. Yeah, it's hard to see. Behind me over here. This is a hand-wired AC-15, and it happens to be my favorite amp in the studio. It's also sick. It's in need of repair. I would love to get a capture that sounds like that. It's the hand-wired one. It's real nice. I really like it. Let me see if there's anything in here that's even close. I mean, HWX, maybe. Let's see what this sounds like. Cancel real quick. Okay, I want to throw that on over here. Throw it next to it. We could have a pair of Voxes. It's definitely a lot brighter. Change that. Lots of mids, which is fine. Just want to get some clarity out of it. It's a pretty good sound. What about any of these others? Let's try a couple more. It's nice too. Okay. Here's a Morgan. Morgan AC20. Oops. With creambacks, matchless cab, yeah. Oh, my apologies. I had the boost on this whole time. Here's it clean, clean. Alright, since that's so clean, let's try not just boosting it. I'm going to actually add some dirt at the morning glory. Does get noisy, but that's going to be a battle I think I'm going to have to fight with most of these. This is also not an ideal setup for no noise. I got monitors and power and all sorts of shenanigans, but yeah, it does have quite a bit of noise on that particular one. All right, 60th anniversary. We're going to try this one, and I think maybe this will be the last one we try tonight. Let's see. Yeah, it's got like the tight boxy thing going on. That's pretty nice. Gain it up. Oh, my apologies. Here's the 60th anniversary. It's pretty great. Pull the gain back a touch. Get the volume more. Ton of noise. Well, I think that's going to do it. I'm still exploring this thing. If you all are cool to watch me explore within ToneNET, thank you. For anybody that's stuck around, I very much appreciate you. Of course, Josh, thanks for hanging out, making it fun. Making it fun, bro. I will do more streams probably talking about this one. I have a couple other competitor products that I would like to stream about. Some other functionalities. I talked about bass for this. I think would be cool. Okay, I should just mention it. So I currently inside the studio, we are storing for a friend of mine all 4 of the UA Universal Audio Effects amp sounds. So I had a Dream 65, have been using that up until now when I just got rid of it and got the ToneX. Since I have all of them in studio, I may do a stream and just go through all of them. Just kind of go through what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and see where that goes. So if you guys would be down to watch that, I'll probably be doing that soon. I'm also gonna do a bass focused one. We'll use ToneX. I do want to apologize that you couldn't see the ToneX as I was messing with it. Got into some issues with my computer earlier and crashed everything trying to use a webcam with that. So my bad. You just have to take my word for it. It's very small. You can see the pictures of it. Yeah, I got more coming. Lots more coming. And if you guys have something in particular that you want to see me do with these, I'm all ears. Coming up this week, I'll have a video where I go through all of the stock presets. That'll be coming out here in just a little bit. I only touched on a few of them. There's 20, I think it's 20 total stock presets, and 5 of those are amps, or 15 of those are amps, 5 of those are just pedals. So kind of like I talked about earlier, you can run it as like it's just a tube scream or a clone or whatever. I didn't adjust anything, like didn't do any of the like messing with the sounds like I did with this one. So you just hear it. That's why it is the way it comes. And yeah, you can make your own assumptions about that, whether or not it's usable. I thought some of the sounds were so extreme in whatever field that I wouldn't be able to use them. But I'll probably circle back to them at some point, try them again, and see if there's anything to be learned. Because I mean, we had a couple of sounds on here that I was really surprised. Once you pull the gain way back, stuff starts to sound more reasonable. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a great pedal, killer price. Yeah, there's so much you can do with this thing. So yeah, I'll be doing more with the ToneX one. And at some point I'll get 2 of them and show you what it's like with 2 amps. I've heard you have to be very careful if you're running 2 different captures, that those 2 captures are in phase with each other. But as you saw, there's kind of no shortage of options. So if it doesn't work with the first Vox that you find, just keep looking for another Vox. Chances are you'll find one that it sounds great on, and then pairs with another amp. So yeah, that'll be coming too. Well, I say that'll be coming. I haven't bought the second one yet. One of these days. Yeah. If you like this, please like it. If you want to see more from this, please just hit me up in the comments what you would like to see. And as always, keep getting better. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for hanging out.